Let's imagine you've kidnapped your favorite celebrity.
I won't lie, I might have kidnapped IShowSpeed. IShowSpeed might be in my basement right now. IShowSpeed know my face and my name. He might be able to find me back with the police, bro. I don't want this, bro. I want my money and IShowSpeed. Let's watch that because I mean, the thumbnail was pretty good and the title too, Game Theory is the cheat code to life. Alright, let's watch this.
So, you're playing the game of life.
We are.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
Congratulations
Thank
on
you.
making it this far.
Alright.
Maybe you're doing well. Maybe you're doing not so well.
I'm
Either way,
working on it.
You still have to play.
Of
All
course.
Day, every day, until the day you die. But death is a different game entirely. And the life game is, ooh, how should I say, complicated. Imagine your life as one long string of situations. By
Yeah.
talking to you through this YouTube video, I am touching your string right now. If you leave a
Okay.
comment,
Yeah, you're
you
right.
might touch mine.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be naughty? In the game of life, you have many a choice to make, many rabbit holes to dive down, many mini-games and side quests to play. Some situations are long overarching narratives, others are quick and unimportant, but almost all situations have an objectively correct strategy to handle. How often do you kick yourself in the shower, realizing if you had only did, tried, made, chose, bet or said something different, events would have played
What the fuck was that sentence, bro? I need... What?
have an objectively correct
I need some captions to it.
strategy to handle. How often do you kick yourself in the shower, realizing if you had only did, tried, made, chose, bet or said something different,
Yeah,
events would
okay.
have played out differently.
I got it, yeah.
You chose wrong on that occasion, and that's okay. Knowing the right path, in the moment, every moment, is an impossible feat.
Yeah.
But this is where game theory steps in.
Okay. Okay, we good.
Game theory is the idea that the choices you make can be reduced to mathematical formulas, and optimal choices can be calculated.
Alright,
Look
yeah.
at the game I'm playing right now. It's called Golden Balls. Well regarded as probably the most brutal game show ever devised for British television. Golden Balls forces its contestants to make a simple choice. Split the jackpot with their opponent, or steal the lot for themselves.
Oh, I know this
Both
game.
players have to make the choice simultaneously, secretly, and with finality. They
That's-
have no control over what their opponent does, besides
This game, like, I never saw it on the TV, but like, basically, that's a very mind play game. Like, you're supposed to go into the mind of your adversary, of your opponent, if you want to win. And like, I would like to see like how am I doing if I was like in that game, right? Yeah, the edit is crazy, bro.
whatever pleas, bargains and lies they're able to exchange prior to the choosing. And the game only has 3 outcomes. 1. Both players pick split and share the jackpot.
Yeah, that's dope.
2. One player
One
picks
steal,
steal and takes the entire
And he
jackpot.
takes everything,
Or 3. Both players pick steal
and no
receive
one's gained nothing yet.
In other words, Golden Balls is a classic prisoner's dilemma, the most famous problem in game theory.
That's
Assuming
real.
your opponent is a pretty cool, sexy, rational person like yourself, what should you choose? Send your votes now to this email address.
Yo, okay, let's... Basically, for my part, I would always try to take steal, because like, if I get the money, I'll split at the end of the competition or at the end of like the game, and so in that way, if he's taking steal, we both won't have nothing. But the real fact is that I will choose to split. It's like a freaking mind game. That's why it's hard to explain, bro. Let's go back to the video.
Yeah, use steal. Game theory dictates that stealing is always the best option. Why? Because stealing leads to either a win or a draw, while splitting is either a draw or a loss. It has nothing to do with whether it's better to be a greedy bastard or a nice person. The mathematically rational choice. However, if both players play rationally, as game theory assumes, then both players will arrive at this conclusion. They will both pick steal and win nothing. This is known as the Nash equilibrium, where neither player would have anything to gain from making any other choice. It was first proposed by Professor John Nash, the schizophrenic mathematical genius played by Gladiator. However, the reason the prisoner's dilemma is so, well, dilemma is because the most favourable outcome is of course both players splitting, but the best choice is to steal. And so this leads to a rational paradox, where your best
chances is to steal. Yeah, but like that's either split or steal. There is not like a third choice. Split, steal, or do nothing. No, because yeah, that's either split or either steal, right? There is not any other outcome. Strange.
choice on paper most often leads to your least desirable outcome. But the life game is not played on paper. In life, people are allowed to talk, to converse, to coerce, to tattle, persuade, manipulate and guilt trip. The dialogue aspect of Golden Balls makes it truly compelling entertainment, adding a whole new factor that completely skews rational game theory. One analysis of the TV show's 289 glorious episodes found that across all games and players, Split was chosen approximately 53% of the time,
That's
with
great.
only 47% of players choosing Steal. Regardless of the outcome of any of these games, it can be concluded that 53% of people behaved completely irrationally from the perspective of a game theory purist. People are imbeciles. Do not be people. If you ever find yourself in a version of the prisoner's dilemma, be a cold bastard and pick Steal. Pick betray, pick defect, rat, lie and snitch. It's okay, don't feel guilty.
I mean, the way he's advancing it right now looks like it's a very bad choice, but I mean that's the best choice if I'm saying like that's a mind game, bro. But why are we onto that, bro?
You don't need morals when maths is on your side.
Why are we talking about the ball game on the life theory cheat code, bro?
Speaking of morality, who's up for a cheeky game of kidnap?
What is that game? Kidnap game?
Let's imagine you've kidnapped your favorite celebrity.
Okay.
Should be fairly easy.
Who's my favorite celebrity, bro? I don't know. Oh, this might be IShowSpeed, bro. Okay, this might be IShowSpeed. I won't lie. I might have kidnapped IShowSpeed. IShowSpeed might be not in France anymore, but might be in my basement right now. I'm sorry.
Twisted little mind like yours. You demand a hefty ransom and it is promptly paid. Now
Aye.
you are faced with a choice. Be true to your word and release the hostage, or take care of them. Seems fairly simple.
IShowSpeed.
The hostage knows your face and name. Why? Because you got lonely and hung out with them. You sad little moron. Anyway, if released, the hostage would be able to aid the authorities in tracking you down and imprisoning you, if they chose to do so.
Yeah,
Whilst
that's almost like the suitcase dilemma, right? Yeah, because if you're splitting, you have like less chances of winning big, right? Because like right now, if he's splitting, I mean like he's supposed to release IShowSpeed, so I mean IShowSpeed know my face and my name. He might be able to find me back with the police, bro. I don't want this, bro. I want my money and IShowSpeed.
the hostage would leave you rich and free from jail for certain.
Yeah.
But you would greatly prefer not to become a murderer.
Of course.
Especially as the prisoner is your idol. In an ideal world, you would release them and they would stay silent. Here are all the options with a rough numerical
Right. So either I'm murdering and I'm winning money, but what's the -10, bro?
value assigned to the outcome for each player. What should you do? Cast your votes now by calling this hotline.
Yo, this guy is crazy, bro. Yeah, just a fucking crazy guy. Yeah, I'm subscribing and I'm liking the video, bro. What the fuck? Who wants to call? Who is willing to call right now? Right now.
Si tu as essayé l'e-commerce et que tu n'as jamais été rentable, arrête de scroller car tu vas être surpris de ce que j'ai toujours eu envie de commencer.
Yeah, you killed him. It doesn't really matter what you think, just kill him. It's not a debate, maths has decided. Game theory dictates that eliminating the hostage, which will again ruin your chances of achieving the most desirable outcome, is still a better option when faced with a 50% chance of imprisonment. But life often has other factors to consider.
Of course.
For example, if your prisoner develops a touch of the old Stockholm syndrome, well, that changes the game. If they love you, it's less likely they will go ahead and rat you out. So the best option
Right.
might be to release them. Or
Right.
maybe you're in a future where mind potatoes could force your hostage to testify against you, unwittingly, in which case, definitely kill them. But hostage romances and crazy imaginations aside, In base principle, eliminating the captive is always the best option if you're going
Of
to play the
course,
kidnap
you're
game.
right,
Ignore
but I
the
mean, who wants to be a murderer? I do not want to be a murderer, bro. And it's IShowSpeed too, bro. What the hell? I mean, we can live stream in the basement. We may have some connection issues, but I mean...
potentially better scenario and take the guaranteed victory. But please, I implore you, do not actually try and play kidnap in real life.
No way,
Believe
bro.
me, it's just not very fun.
He tried it. He tried it for sure. That's why he's not showing his face. Guys, what the hell is that video, bro?
I'm going to flip a coin. Is it heads or tails? Vote now by screaming out your window.
Guys!
It was tails.
Yes!
Game, huh?
Yes!
About 40% of you won it. What?
I won. I won.
How? It's a 50-50 chance, right? Well, yes, the coin flip itself is a 50-50 chance, but what you would choose was not. Human beings have a slight bias towards picking heads. Why? Because heads comes before tails, so it's often the first thing that comes to mind when making such a call.
I won't lie to you guys. I saw a big ass booty on the coin. That's what made me choose tail. I won't lie to you guys. Like, for real. Like, she was 90 degrees down, bro. I was, damn it.
So, if you're a tails never fails person,
What did you choose, bro? Oh, you'll be right back, no problem.
congratulations. You are in a statistical minority, and being a minority means you're cool.
I'm
But how
cool.
is this important for game theory? Well, the human preference for heads is seen as a convention, a rule that people tend to follow. Knowledge of conventions can help you win games. For example, if you're playing a coin game where you have to guess what your opponent will call, you can use the coin convention to assume they will pick heads.
Okay.
Theoretically giving you a 60% win rate in what should be a 50-50 game.
All right.
Conventions are extremely important to game theory as they relate heavily to real-life applications. Driving is a game. Driving on the correct side of the road is a convention. Knowledge of that convention prevents you from crashing.
Right.
Unless, of course, you're driving in India, in which case, good luck. Restaurants are a game. Tipping your waiter is a convention. You ought to...
Wait, that's a crazy ass.
Restaurants are a game. Tipping your...
Bro, no freaking way. What the fucking genuine scam, bro. Damn. You must be a genius to make that, bro. I want to try this out, bro. Okay. So we have our money, right? We just need to split like that. A bit more. Like that. Like you have to split it more than... Okay, as you may see on the top right image, you want your money to be like... on the top you don't see the back parts, right? Like this. And you still want to see this one. Okay, I believe that something like this might be correct. Okay, by doing this, I now want to... Oh, I got the... it's hard. What? I don't get it, bro. Wait, so you're supposed to do this with your money, okay? Okay, so let's try again. So I'm willing to do this. Like that, right? And I now want to have like this one. So this one. Oh, I got it, guys. I got it. Okay, now see that. Now check this out. Just imagine that this is like where your check is, right? And now imagine this. Okay, I mean that's pretty good, guys. That's pretty good work. Watch this, bro. And now it looks like there is a lot of money inside of it. A little good tip, but basically no, it's just a 50 euros. Okay, that's an interesting
Your
fact.
waiter is a convention. You automatically benefit from a higher level of service if the waiter believes they might earn a tip, regardless of whether you actually tip them. Greetings are a game. Shaking hands is a convention. It's an empirically meaningless action that also manages to automatically build trust.
Right.
Government is a game. Paying taxes is a
It's
convention.
yeah.
If everyone refused, then the government would be powerless
Yeah,
and
that's-
society would collapse.
that's real.
Society is a game. Money itself is a convention. All money has only imaginary value. It's
Okay.
completely useless.
Okay.
Get rid of your money. Burn it all. Wipe the accounts. Head for the hills. Don't you feel the ship sinking? Your life is only getting harder. Can't you hear the piggies roasting?
I cannot
It's
find
only
my
getting
fucking-
worse.
Okay, he said do that. I'm going to do it. I'm going to burn my money, bro. But I cannot find my money back, bro. Okay. Oh shit, bro. That was so easy. No. What the fuck am I doing, bro?
Yes, dude. It's only getting. Burn it all. Wipe the accounts. Head for the hills. Don't you feel the ship sinking? Your life is only getting harder. Can't you hear the piggies roasting? It's only getting worse. Doom! Doom! Climate collapsing, nuclear fire. Money is all that's keeping society together.
Wait, my level of dopamine right now is way too high, bro. This editing is way too strong, bro. What the fuck is that, bro? What the fuck is this guy, bro? What the fuck is this level of editing?
The green paper shield, but it's just an idea. It will not last.
Bro.
Society together.
He did
The green
this guy. I mean, where he get that image from,
shield,
bro?
but
What
it's
the
just
fuck
an
is that
idea. It
AI?
will not last. Already, it's failing soon.
Oh my god, bro, he's everywhere. He's fucking everywhere. What the
We're all
fuck?
going to die. Sorry, I'm really trying to cut down on my doomsday rants. Going back on topic now, I promise. Conventions in game theory can reduce uncertainty. However, some games are designed to be wholly uncertain.
Yeah. Okay, we good. We good. We good. We good. We are good.
You have been challenged by your most bitter of rivals, slapped with a glove and labelled the Great Big Nancy. Naturally, your only option is to engage your foe in an unfriendly game of duel. The rules are simple. Each player shall be given a pistol with a single bullet. The players will begin a half-mile apart and will slowly walk towards each other at roughly the same pace. You are both allowed to fire your pistol at any point, but if you miss your only shot, you must continue to walk towards your opponent until
Whoa.
they in turn shoot at you.
Wow.
Assuming you and your rival are similar in both body size and accuracy,
Wow.
what is the best time to fire your pistol? Please write your votes on the ballot cards.
I never saw that game, bro. I didn't know it was like this. I knew like in Far West you were like back to back and like working and then like turning back and then shooting, but I never knew about that Occidental game where you're like half a mile away from each other and you are working. Damn, that's the best time. Like I believe that like 50 meters, like that's already far, bro. 50 meters is already pretty far, bro.
What is the best time to fire your pistol? Please write your votes on the ballot cards for the upcoming Ribble Valley by-election.
Look.
Yeah, there is no best time to shoot. It
Okay.
doesn't exist. In game theory, duel is what's known as a mixed strategy equilibrium. Fire too early and you lose. Wait too long to fire and you also
lose.
Which means, with all factors being equal, it doesn't matter when you shoot.
Right.
Just take a random shot and hope you don't miss.
Damn.
Yeah, it's mental. Do not play duel in real life.
Thank you for
Poker is
the.
another example of the value of random tactics.
Right.
If you only raise your bet when you have a good hand, then opponents will always know when to fold.
Right.
But if you go all in on every hand, your opponents will quickly realize you're full of shit and clean you out.
Right.
However, if you randomly decide to bluff a bad hand every now and then your opponents will have a much harder time assessing your strategy.
Yeah.
Unless, of course, you have a really obvious tell, but no amount of game theory can fix that. Knowing the nuance between a calculated blunder and giving your opponent free money is the mark of a truly great poker player.
Right.
And in the larger game of life, intuition is often more important than strategy.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, if your mind is telling you to just go and talk to that woman, talk to that girl, and let her know your feelings about your situation and about her and stuff. Like, your mind, your intuition is the best thing you can follow, bro. So, I mean, that's what he's saying, almost.
More important than game theory. Knowing people's tendencies and reading into their body language and emotions is often much more valuable than relying purely on statistical advantages, because emotions are factors that can't really be effectively quantified on paper. As such, in reality, game theory often falls apart.
Okay.
Welcome to Ultimatum. Again, it's a 2-player game. There is a pot of money. Let's call it 100 blank coins. The first player chooses how to split the money up. The second player chooses whether to accept the split or not. If accepted, both players get their respective cash.
That's great.
If declined, both players get nothing.
That's
How should this
bullshit.
situation play out? Vote now by sending me your thoughts and prayers.
damn, bro. I mean, 50-50, that's enough, bro.
Yeah, you all got it wrong. Player 1 should offer a split of 99-1 in their own favour. And player 2 should accept.
Si c'était à refaire, je redeviendrais
Okay, we
policier à
good.
100%.
Je
We
referais totalement la même chose.
good.
Je le ferai avec encore plus
Breath.
d'intensité si c'est possible.
Je referai
In,
exactement le même parcours.
breath out.
Peut-être même
A game
Okay.
theorist will reason that player
Sorry, I just need a moment of that ad to get back to it. I was almost about to transform myself, bro.
one should
Careful.
try and
Careful,
maximize their
YouTube, be careful.
gains as much as possible. They can get away with this, as player 2 should accept any amount of money higher than 0.
Yeah, that's
Rationally,
right.
they stand to gain nothing from declining free money. But
Exactly.
your immediate reaction of fury and dismay is exactly why game theory does not always work. Human spite. Game theory does not factor in how the human desire for vengeance greatly trumps their supposed rationality.
Right.
In reality, the best choice for player 1 is to offer a 50-50 split.
Of course.
As any sane player 2 is guaranteed to accept it.
Of course.
And if player 1 offers, say, a 55-45 split, well, that's a bit cheeky, but
Yeah.
player 2 is still quite likely to accept. However, if player 1's guts get greedy and they go for, say, a 90-10 offer,
Yeah,
then
that's
the likelihood
bullshit.
of player 2
Hell
declining
no,
has
bro.
grown
Fuck you, bro.
exponentially. So
Yeah.
the further the offer strays from the 50-50, the more likely it is that player 1 is told to get fucked.
That's right.
And both players leave with an abundance of nothing.
Of nothing.
Humans simply refuse to behave rationally when they feel they're getting fucked over. However, that is not to say game theory is completely useless. In the case of Ultimatum, you only have to add repetition to the game. In a repeated game, if player 2 had refused the offer previously, player 1 is much more likely to move their offer closer to the 50-50 margin to
Yeah.
avoid winning nothing once more.
Okay.
Player 2 can still decline if dissatisfied, but with enough repetitions, both players should eventually reach a mutual equilibrium and make some serious blank coin while the games last. The human ability to learn lessons from our mistakes is something that game theory accurately reflects when games are repeated.
Okay.
And Ultimatum is not the only game where repetition greatly impacts strategy.
Yeah, that's right, bro. Because basically, I do have business. The fact is that when I first started to demarch and to talk about it to some random people, I was pretty bad at talking like and discussing about it. But I believe that with repetition, I got better. I'm still not good, but like I got better, and like I can now pretty easily talk about my business, make some offers and stuff. And the only thing that make me get better at is like repetition. That's why I would like to move out to Australia, bro. Because Australia is such a fucking big country, bro, that I can like ask anybody anything and try again and repeat, and like I know that at the end of the trip, at the end of my day, I'll get better, bro. I'll have some positive in my life, in my responding people.
Yeah, we're back to Golden Balls. A repeated prisoner's dilemma is a completely different situation to the original game.
Yeah, that's
at least
right.
from a mathematical perspective.
Yeah,
In a one-off game, you should always steal.
of course.
Sure. But across multiple games, this is not the most effective strategy. So what is the best strategy? Well, thankfully, Professor Robert Axelrod of
Cry
the University
more.
of Michigan famously held a couple nerd contests to answer that question. People from all the nerdiest corners of the globe were invited to create and test computer programs
Right.
against one another in an attempt to identify the best course of action in a repeated prisoner's dilemma. Many programs were submitted, nice ones, mean ones, sneaky ones and random ones. The programs played Prisoner's Dilemmas against each other for 200 rounds, and then the points were tallied. And would you believe it, nice programs performed far better on average than the dickhead programs.
Yeah.
The most aggressive models would often end up spiraling into steal wars of mutual destruction, whilst nicer programs would lose when paired up against these aggressors, but fare much better overall due to their ability to cooperate in games with other nice programs. Do you get it?
Yeah, I do get
the
it.
allegory?
So
for life?
basically, more you are doing better stuff, more you get better stuff. Is
One
that
program
it?
stood out from all the rest in both contests, tit for tat. This program would initially pick split every time. However, as soon as the opposing models choose steal, tit for tat would follow suit in the next round. It would
Okay.
then copy the opponent's previous moves forevermore.
Okay.
So, if the opponent continued to steal, so would tit for tat. And if the
Okay.
opposing program started to split again, so would tit for tat.
Okay.
This attitude racked up the most points by far. Axelrod attributed tit for tat's success to 4 main qualities. 1. Niceness. Tit for tat was never the first program to pick steal.
Right.
This made it easy to cooperate with. 2. Retaliation. Tit for tat was by no means a pussy. It could be easily dragged into wars of attrition if the opponent wanted the smoke. 3. Forgiveness. Tit for tat only held grudges for 1 round. It could easily go back to playing nice if the opponent learned their lesson. And 4.
Okay.
Clarity. There was always a clear cause and effect to the program's method. It could not be misunderstood or manipulated. Axelrod's tournament proved, empirically, that eye for an eye is an objectively better strategy than turn the other cheek. Old
Yo.
Testament beats New Testament.
Damn it!
Life may not be a constant prisoner's dilemma,
Will
but it
Smith,
is
bro.
full of repeated interactions.
You're strong.
And tit for tat exemplifies how to approach the world, to maximize your own best outcomes and the best outcomes for other players.
Yeah.
Sticking to the tit for tat principles allows you to be pleasant without being a pushover, to be strong without throwing your weight around. And if you learn to cut your losses, sacrifice for the greater good, and throw in some wholly random actions from time to time, then bingo, you've got yourself a cheat code for the life game.
Okay. I'm into that,
I mean,
bro.
obviously there are many other winning factors, such as being born with intelligence, charisma, monetary wealth, and good physical genetics, but that's just the luck of the draw, I'm afraid. You can only play with the hand you're dealt.
Yeah, you're
The
right.
life game is by no means fair. Please
Yeah.
don't get too hung up on blaming the dealer,
Okay.
if there even is a dealer. Anyway, for all of humanity's downtrodden, there will always be the loving embrace of Blank Rascal. Have no fear, child. No.
Damn, that was interesting, bro. That was deep too. Damn. So basically, what we just learned with that video, guys. Let's do a little summary. Basically, do some random stuff, follow your mind, and be creative. That's what I'm into, and that's what the video guy said. So basically, we are good. Thank you guys for watching. I hope it was interesting, and we'll see you tomorrow or on another video, bro.